So the real estate agent is charging the seller a normal commission, and then he's charging us a $10,000 commission. Now, you may say, Todd, that is a lot of money. Well, I don't really care. The price that you pay or the price that a wholesaler makes or an agent makes is irrelevant if I'm going to make the money that I want to make on a deal.
Welcome to the No Limits Podcast, where limits do not exist, where you can create cash flow, equity, and real freedom with the power of real estate.
3, 4. Now, we will begin.
Welcome to the dojo. The dojo.
So today we are going to talk about a brand new deal case study, and I absolutely love this deal. But before I jump into today's show, if this is the first time that you're listening to this podcast, head on over to NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com, and I have a download there for you. It's called the No Limits Real Estate Wholesaling Map, and this is my gift to you. And whether you are scratching and clawing and trying to do that first deal, right, and get that first paycheck in your hand, or if you're trying to scale this thing to 7 figures, this is the blueprint for you. It takes you all the way from that first deal all the way up to hiring your first team member to start to build this so that you can extract yourself from your business, and this thing can kick off cash month after month after month without your personal day-to-day involvement. So make sure you head on over to NoLimitsRealEstateInvesting.com and download the wholesaling map. All right, so let's jump into this month's deal case study. So we recently locked up a cute little 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Our acquisition manager locked this property up, and it was in South Florida, and really, really cute house, needed some work, but we actually got the deal from a social media post that one of our acquisition specialists made on another deal that we had done, right? And so a real estate agent saw the deal, was reminded of what we do, and said, hey, listen, I've got this house. I love what you guys do. I see the energy, and I just love the volume that you guys are putting out, which I actually talked about in my last podcast episode. And so the real estate agent brought the deal basically to us on a silver platter, and I absolutely love that. And one of the advantages of working with real estate agents actually is they do a lot of the selling for you, right? They talk to the sellers, they present their options, they talk about prices, and they say, hey, I know this guy, or I know this gal, or I know this company who can buy your house as is. I can bring them to the table. It's really easy. They're really flexible, and they can give you X, Y, Z. And I've worked with them before, and I just want to present this option to you, right? And so when you get there, man, your job is done, right? This is like a softball. So I always recommend trying to do real estate deals with agents and networking with these people. So here are the numbers. As a couple was living in this property and they wanted to move out of town, and for whatever reason, they were in a hurry, right? So we actually locked up this house for a price of $135,000, okay? And the house is worth about $210,000 as is. Now that 135, okay, this is really interesting, includes an extra $10,000 to the real estate agent that we are paying as additional commission. So the real estate agent is charging the seller a normal commission, and then he's charging us a $10,000 commission. Now you may say, Todd, that is a lot of money. Well, I don't really care, right? Because we're picking up a $210,000 house for $135,000, and that is inclusive, that 135 is inclusive of our $10,000. And so one of the things that I teach all of my clients, and if you listen to this podcast, right, the price that you pay or the price that a wholesaler makes or an agent makes is irrelevant if I'm going to make the money that I want to make on a deal, right? You want other people to win. And so if they're going to win bigger than you, meaning that they're going to make more money than you, but I'm in a satisfactory position and I'm getting the money that I want to make on a deal for the value that I'm bringing, hey, I'm all for it. So this agent is going to make a lot of money on this deal. And he's not even making money because he's actually going to list the deal on the back end, okay, when we sell. So long story short, we've got this deal under contract, right? And we're pretty much counting the money. We're excited. We're high-fiving each other. And we're like, man, this was easy, right? Seller says, I changed my mind. I want to back out of the deal, right? And so, of course, my acquisition specialist was disappointed. And I said, you've got to bounce back like a rubber band. Don't worry about it. I want you to focus on getting other deals. I said, this deal is coming back, right? We're not going to get into a confrontation with the agent or the sellers, and we're not going to threaten them. We're just going to sit back and let this deal come back. And so that's exactly what we did, right? We waited a couple of weeks and we still told the agent we wanted to buy it. And long story short, the seller's problem reappeared, right? The agitation came back. The reason why they wanted to sell, the urgency just all came back. And because we didn't cause this big confrontation, they said, you know what? We still want to sell to you. So we closed on that deal last Friday, right? So that was just a few days ago. And because of the situation with the seller and because they wanted to back out, we said, we're going to take this deal down. We're not going to wholesale it. And by the way, I recommend that you always have money in your back pocket. I've recorded episodes on how to find the money for your deals. And so if you are not liquid or if you are broke, there are plenty of ways to get money out there. There is so much money out there that needs a home. Do not get hung up on this. I'm not going to talk about this in today's episode, but long story short, we took the deal down, and that means we actually bought it. Now, one of the advantages that we had going in is that we told the seller that they could live in the property 30 days post-closing, right? We call this a post-occupancy agreement. So we withheld $10,000 of the seller's proceeds. We keep that in our bank account, and when the seller moves out, well, then we pay them, their $10,000. And so this is a little insurance policy so that they move out on time. If they don't move out, then we get to keep that $10,000. So sellers are going to move out. We are then going to clean this property up. We're going to get smelling great. We're going to mow the grass. We're not going to do anything to it, and we're going to sell it for $210,000. Sure, we could fix it, but I don't see the upside, right? So we're just going to put it on the market as is and make a quick $50,000. It's going to be a little bit more than $50,000. And you could see that this is a phenomenal profit for not a lot of work. Now, we also are going to give the agent a full commission on the back end. So if you do the math, you could see where the profit is and where that shakes out. And again, are we overpaying the agent? To most people, if they were on the outside, sure. All right. But it's really, really important. Who do you think that agent is going to come back to when they have another deal, right? It's us. Very, very, very important. Okay. So let me give you a little hack so you could do some of these deals. I did another episode on volume, but if you want agents to bring you deals, and by the way, this is the second one in 3 weeks that we have from a real estate agent, and both of them are really, really, really big deals. Okay. If you want to do this, the hack for this is just reach out to 2 or 3 agents a week, right? Do this on Facebook. And for me, I love to send a text or a private message on Facebook Messenger and to say, hey, how you doing? Do you have any deals coming up, or anyone who might want to sell? Now, you may think, oh, well, if an agent has a deal, they will call me. Okay. And I could tell you that this is the biggest mistake in real estate. Agents, they have a million things going on. They have a memory of 2 seconds. And so the second that you lose contact with them is the second that they call another investor, right? They meet someone at a real estate club, or they meet someone at some networking event, or they watch some webinar on this new education, and they run into a seller and they don't even think of selling it to you. Okay. So you've got to stay in front of these people. You've got to be on social media. You've got to send private messages. And these messages, by the way, are way more effective than social media. You should be doing both, but this combination of social media versus the private messaging is really, 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 really important. And this is how we got this deal. So one of the things that I would measure weekly is how many private messages are we sending out, or emails or texts or personal reach outs? Because I can tell you, you can build a sales force of 30, 40 real estate agents looking for deals for you every single day. And all you need is a few good agents to fill your pipeline. And you could be making a couple $100,000 a year just from that alone. So remember, there are a lot of ways to go get deals, but agents, specifically in this case, are a great source, and I highly recommend networking with them. Talk to you soon.